A Russian soldier caught by a Ukrainian FPV drone found himself in a hopeless situation. No weapon, no cover, just an open road. He tried to escape with a few quick maneuvers, and for a moment it seemed he might succeed. But the Ukrainian drone operator refused to give up. After a long chase, the soldier couldn't escape his fate. July 26, 2025, Ukraine's 34th Coastal Defense Brigade successfully neutralized Russian drone operators in the occupied Kherson region. The house where the Russian drone operators were located was identified, and a strike was carried out using a high-explosive kamikaze drone. Drone operators belonging to Ukraine's 46th Airborne Brigade neutralized 3 Korean soldiers hiding under a tree. The soldiers noticed the incoming drone, but it was already too late to escape. July 27, 2025, Ukraine's 210th Special Purpose Battalion conducted a direct FPV drone strike on the basement of a 9-story building where 8 Russian soldiers had gathered. A Russian soldier was tragically targeted by an FPV drone while using the toilet. With no time to even realize what was coming, he was completely wiped out within seconds. On July 27, 2025, Ukraine's 14th Mechanized Brigade spotted a Russian soldier trying to hide in a field near Vilshana, Kharkiv region. He began running in an attempt to escape an FPV drone that was chasing him. The Russian soldier, who managed to evade the FPV drone for a while, eventually grew exhausted, becoming the drone's final target. In the same area, another Russian soldier also failed to escape being targeted by the FPV drone. A Ukrainian FPV drone attacked a Russian soldier, but missed and crashed to the ground. The Russian soldier made a grave mistake by assuming the drone wouldn't explode. 2 Russian soldiers were pursued by a Ukrainian FPV kamikaze drone. One of the soldiers, trying to quickly escape, decided to stop and shoot at the drone. However, failing to bring it down, he became the drone's exposed target. Ukraine's fiber optic FPV drones, affiliated with the Azov Union, struck numerous Russian troop transport vehicles on the Lyman front. Operating with virtually zero signal delay and nearly impossible signal jamming, Ukrainian fiber optic FPV drones launched a coordinated series of attacks on Russian troop transport vehicles on the Lyman front. The 12th Special Forces Brigade detected numerous targets moving in the combat zone and took action with surgical precision. As Russian armored vehicles were destroyed one by drones, Russian soldiers were left quite helpless in the face of the attacks. Now, another FPV drone chasing a Russian military vehicle is overcoming all obstacles and heading straight for its target. The drone is rapidly advancing and targeting the driver's compartment of the vehicle. On July 26th, Ukrainian forces carried out a drone strike using a Shahed-type UAV on a radio station located in the Russian city of Stavropol. The purpose of the operation was to disable Russian communication systems. The operation was successful. Ukraine's 68th Jaeger Brigade targeted a vehicle carrying Russian soldiers who had stopped to rest. Before they could even realize what was happening, their vehicle was destroyed. On the Vuhledar front, a Russian Ural military truck bringing supplies to troops was tracked for some time by a drone from Ukraine's 64th Mechanized Brigade. As the truck moved onto the road, a kamikaze drone launched an attack, striking the driver directly. The drone struck the driver's cabin directly, resulting in the death of the Russian soldier who was operating the vehicle. With the driver deceased, control of the military truck was lost, and it began to spin out of control for a period of time. July 27, 2025, Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade trapped a group of Russian soldiers around a destroyed vehicle. After several minutes of drone pursuit, the Russian soldiers hid under the vehicle. However, this turned out to be an even bigger mistake. The drone maneuvered directly under the vehicle and struck the soldiers. Ukraine's 64th Mechanized Battalion launched a large-scale operation. Beginning with artillery strikes, the operation first targeted Russian armored vehicles. Using thermal imaging for precise targeting, accurate shots were fired. Buildings sheltering Russian soldiers were destroyed, followed by intense artillery bombardment that wiped out Russian positions. This operation took place on the Bakhmut front, a critical and fiercely contested sector in the ongoing conflict. Ukraine's 414th Hungarian Battalion inflicted significant damage on Russian forces over the course of a week using FPV and kamikaze drones. Their targeted strikes on supply routes disabled numerous Russian soldiers in the region, severely disrupting enemy logistics and reinforcements. Additionally, many armored vehicles, which Russian troops tried to conceal by camouflaging them within forested areas, were effectively tracked and destroyed by the drones. Operating primarily in the Donetsk region, a key hotspot in the ongoing conflict, the battalion's drone warfare capabilities have demonstrated the evolving nature of frontline combat. July 25, 2025. As two Russian armored vehicles approached Ukrainian positions on the Pokrovsk front for an assault, they were met with a Ukrainian artillery strike. Following the barrage, Ukrainian FPV drones were launched to target the Russian vehicles directly. After one of the armored personnel carriers, a BMP-2, sustained heavy damage, Russian troops were forced to evacuate. As the Russian soldiers exited the damaged armored vehicle, a bomb was dropped on them by a Ukrainian drone. The second armored vehicle attempted to flee quickly, but was intercepted and disabled by a kamikaze drone. A few surviving soldiers tried to hide among the trees to escape, while others, frozen in panic, couldn't move at all. One by one, each soldier became a target for Ukrainian FPV drones. The Russian assault attempt was repelled with overwhelming force, resulting in the deaths of dozens of Russian troops. Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade launched a coordinated drone offensive targeting entrenched Russian positions along the Avdiivka front. Using a combination of FPV and kamikaze drones, the brigade systematically dismantled key segments of Russian defensive lines. The operation began with reconnaissance drones identifying weak points in the Russian trenches. Moments later, precision-guided FPV drones were launched, navigating through narrow corridors and trench networks. Several direct hits were recorded on firing positions, command posts, and dugouts, resulting in heavy Russian casualties. The Avdiivka sector, long considered a stronghold, is now a symbol of vulnerability under Ukraine's expanding drone capabilities. Ukrainian drones systematically destroy Russia's frontline supply power. Ukraine's Ivan Franko drone operators have launched a week-long campaign of non-stop FPV drone attacks targeting Russian logistical routes across the Eastern Front. These precision drone strikes have focused on military convoys, supply trucks, and armored vehicles attempting to navigate through Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Operating day and night, many of these drones are equipped with thermal imaging, making them deadly even in low visibility. The strike accuracy has been devastating. Each hit disrupting vital supply chains, destroying fuel tankers, and leaving dozens of Russian troops stranded or eliminated. As of July 27, 2025, the war in Ukraine continues to intensify. Ukraine's FPV drone warfare remains a game-changing tactic on the battlefield. From Vuhledar to Kreminna, Russian positions are constantly exposed to precision drone attacks and artillery coordination.